All right, let's see here. So I do hereby consent to give buccal swab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little...
The interrogation begins in a tense silence. Police stress his presence is voluntary, yet the atmosphere is heavy, as if unseen pressure is forcing him closer to a truth he cannot escape.
Eddie, if you don't mind, we'll grab a seat over here. If you just have a seat here. Eddie, I really do appreciate you and your wife coming down.
Not a problem, especially against them.
So,
I'm not exactly happy.
and we're here to kind of get some information on that, and obviously, like I told you before, or like my partner told you when we came out and spoke with you, this, has absolutely nothing to do with you. It has to do with the information that we're looking for on the sex roommate that you had. And so you're absolutely not in trouble or anything like that. You're here willingly and voluntarily, is that correct? Just so you know that the door is unlocked and open. You don't have to talk to me if you don't want to. Anytime you want to leave, you can leave and all that stuff. It's just things that I have to say because I'm a police officer and we're in a police building. So I'm going to start out with just getting some basic information. That's why I grabbed your license. Is everything correct on
Steve Burch. His actual name is George.
Okay, and what is Steve? Is that?
I believe that's his middle name.
Okay.
Everybody calls him Big Country. That's his nickname.
So George, Steve.
George Stephen Burch.
And how do you spell Burch?
B-U-R-C-H, I believe.
Okay. And they call him
Big Country.
The big guy, huh?
Oh yeah, 6'8".
Ooh. Does he have like a country accent or anything?
Yeah, he's from Virginia.
Okay. Are you from Virginia as well, or?
New York.
New York.
I actually know him from New York, and when I moved out here, before I moved out here, he moved back to Virginia.
Okay. So I know that my partner kind of alluded to the fact that this has some information referencing homicide investigation that we're looking at, and Mr. Big Country here is a person of interest in that. What homicide do you think we may be referring to?
The one that's on the news in Bellevue?
There's been a couple, unfortunately.
The only one I know is with that woman.
Okay, tell me about which woman.
Saw a little bit on the news this morning. She was, 51 years old or something, he said. That's about the only thing I know about it.
Okay. There's been several women that have been murdered in Bellevue recently.
Oh, really?
So yeah, which one did you see?
The one where they had the whole area closed off, what was it, later last week, I believe it was?
Okay. What leads you to believe that it has something to do with that?
That was the only one I knew of.
Okay, so it's not...
when he said that, that's the one that popped into my mind.
Okay, so just because you saw something on the news and...
Yeah.
At the mention of Bellevue murders, his gaze falters. A quiet town once known for safety is now tainted by fear and grief, as women vanish into mystery, leaving only sorrow behind them.
Okay. Unfortunately, we've had several homicides in the area. Unfortunately, there's been several women that have been victims. And at this point, we're only looking at one that we're aware of.
Okay.
So, I'm not sure if it's related to the one you're thinking of, but if you're indicating the only reason that you're thinking that is just because that's the only one you saw on the news, that's fine. What I'd like for you to do is just be very careful when you speak with me. Try not to, make assumptions or guesses or things like that. I'm actually very curious on things that you know from personal experience and things like that. So let's start with a little bit of a timeline. Big Country, you met him in what year?
Oh, probably 22 years ago.
Oh, wow, you've known him a long time.
Yeah, I've known him for a long time.
And you said that was in New York?
Yeah.
City or state?
New York State.
Where in New York?
Newburgh, New York.
I'm familiar with upstate, like Syracuse.
That's way upstate.
Way upstate. And you said,
we were down at Hudson Valley.
What's the name of the city?
Newburgh.
N-E-W?
W-B-U-R-G-H.
Is that a big city?
Good size.
Over 100 or under 100,000?
I'd say over 100,000.
So you met him in what kind of capacity there?
We met from a friend of a friend.
Through friends?
Yeah.
Okay. And anything specific? Like, did you have certain interests in common, or what?
We did a lot of fishing together and stuff like that.
Okay.
Hung out for quite a while.
Is that your phone going off?
Yeah, I didn't got it off on vibrate. That's what happens when you run a business.
Sure. If you wanted to click that so it doesn't keep going out, that's fine.
I'll turn it off.
Yeah. So, fishing and met him through friends, and that was from what what year to what year, would you say?
Let's see.
I know we're going back a little bit, but I just kind of want to get a little background here.
Well, I moved out here in '08. So you figure he moved down to Virginia in probably '07, the end of '07. And you figure probably 10 years before that, so probably about 97, 95, 96, 97, somewhere
Okay, so
in that
95 to 97 is when you meet and you're
somewhere
with
in
them.
that
Yep.
area, yeah.
So mid-90s over in Newburgh.
Yep.
And then, who moves up first?
He moved to Virginia, I believe it was probably around September, October
Of
of
what year?
'07.
07.
Yep.
Okay, so 07, he goes to Virginia. Do you know for why or anything like that?
Trying to reconciliate his marriage. Get away from his in-laws, basically.
Slowly, his broken marriage is revealed. Big Country clashed with his wife's family, especially her powerful father. Those conflicts poisoned his life and pushed him into despair.
And was he married when he was in New York?
Yes.
Okay, and was she in New York? Did she
Yeah,
stay?
she was there.
Okay, so did he
She
move
moved
with
to
her?
Virginia with her.
Okay, with
Yeah.
him. So were they having marital problems?
Yeah.
Okay, do you know anything about that?
The only thing I know is her parents were constantly in their business. And he used to complain about that a lot. And I know her dad can't stand them. Actually, when he moved out here, that was one of the things that's finally caused the split up between those two, is because the father-in-law told her if she left Steve, he'd buy her a house.
Do you know his wife's name at that time?
Be honest with you, I'd never dealt with the woman. She was
Did you ever meet her?
I met her a couple times. I'd know her if I saw her, but to
Okay.
be honest with you,
So he was married in New York, but he was having marital problems. Her parents were in his business.
Yep, all the time.
And her dad, do you know his name?
I have no idea. I know
Okay.
he used to own the Bell's Catering years ago
Where's that at?
in New Windsor.
Okay. So he didn't like him. Do you know why he didn't like him?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Never really dealt with his family and like that.
Do you know of them having any issues with physical violence or anything like that?
No.
Okay. So basically just not getting along,
Yeah.
those kind of things. Okay. So then he moved in '07 from New York to Virginia to work on his marriage?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happened next? You moved out of New York?
I moved out here in January of '08.
So 2008,
January 14th of 2008.
I moved Valentine's Day, huh? No, 1 month before Valentine's Day, to Green Bay.
Yep.
Okay. And then what happens next? What is your mechanic in Green Bay? Okay, and you said you own a business?
Yep.
And is that pretty much what you've been doing the whole time?
For the last 7 years, I worked for a company, Holland MRD. We serviced locomotives,
Okay.
and then I was building clientele too.
So from 2008 to what?
Well, when I first moved out here, I worked for a couple little jobs here and there. Drove for Schneider for a little bit, so it was probably 2016 is probably, I believe it was like November of 2009 is when I started at the railroad.
Mm-hmm.
And then I worked there up until July of last year.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and then I was building clientele to open my own shop. So,
So what would be your profession up until recently?
all the way through, it's basically been mechanical.
Mechanical.
We service the locomotives.
The conversation drifts to work. He recalls fixing machines, driving trucks, chasing stability. Yet lurking between those words is the shadow of a notorious companion who shaped his path.
So,
Okay, so you're
There's
mechanical, and what's your business now?
automotive repair and welding. I got a business card if you want.
Yeah, I'll take that, sure. Repair and welding?
Yep.
And you opened up that business when?
July 1st of last year.
2015.
15, yeah.
God, how's that going for you?
Not bad, not bad. Getting busier.
Is that where your shop is, where we stop by over there on Western?
Until, the 15th of this month, and then we close out my new shop.
Well, then you
So-
go to a new place?
Yeah, we just bought a building,
Awesome, where'd you buy a building at?
9th and Grove Street,
Okay,
across from Perry's.
probably a little better area over there.
Lot better.
Okay,
Lot better shop,
so,
but I also do mobile repair too, so.
and, when you guys separated in New York, did you guys keep in touch?
About once every month or so we talk.
Once every month, like by phone?
Yeah.
Do you have his phone number in your phone?
I had the number he had, but we disconnected his number because it was through Linda's account,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't paying her or nothing,
Sure,
so.
so once a month or so, talk on the phone.
Yeah.
So when did that change?
I'd say probably, let's see, we're in 16, so probably about 2011 or 12, then it went to like every 6 months maybe I'd hear from him.
Okay, every 6 months, yep, and then when did that change?
And then he called me up, let's see, when did he move out here? Linda would probably know the date better.
And some things, if you don't know, that's why my partner's talking to Linda,
No.
she may have that information, and that's okay.
Yeah, 'cause when he called me up, he
Who
said
is she
that,
better friends with, you or Linda?
oh, he only met Linda when he moved out here.
Okay, and
So
she
she's
only
known him
knows,
a couple of months.
and she only knows him through you?
Yep.
Okay,
And then, he had called me up, and he said he was having problems getting divorced and all of that, and he told me about his father-in-law offering her a house if they separated and all. And, he called me up, and he's like, dude, I just need a
When
new
was that?
life. I wanna say around January, I guess it would've been.
okay, so January of 2016,
Yeah.
called you up, and he said,
Yeah, 'cause it was after Christmas.
okay, and he said, new life, and what else?
That he just needed a new start and knew I was doing good out here, so he wanted to do the same thing.
Tell me about what did he say about his father-in-law and his marriage? Did he say that was dissolving, or the
Well,
marriage?
he said they were actually going through a divorce.
Okay, so going through divorce,
He had gotten her, she had him arrested,
okay,
never said what it was for, all he said was that he got out and had no place to go.
Time behind bars stripped him bare. No money, no home, just bitterness and failure. Desperate, Big Country begged for a chance to start again, carrying scars from his ruined marriage.
They pretty much begged me to get him out here, so we sent him a plane ticket, or a train ticket, actually.
okay, so, train ticket?
Yep.
For what kind of train?
Was it Amtrak?
To, where does that go, from Virginia to where?
From, Newport News, Virginia, and I picked him up in Chicago.
And that was in January?
I believe it was January, yeah. Might have been a little after that even. It was earlier this year. I'm horrible with dates.
Okay, so, he calls you up, says he's looking for a new life, new start, he's going through a divorce, trouble with, father-in-law. She got him arrested, you don't know why.
Yeah, he never gave a reason why.
He got out, needed a place to be, you were doing good here, he thought maybe he'd start over here, you sent for a train ticket. Is there a reason why he couldn't pay for a train ticket?
Because he had just gotten out of jail.
So no money?
No money, no job.
Do you remember if that was expensive or not?
Linda did all of that, I don't even know what it cost.
Was he gonna pay you back, or was that just
He was supposed to once he got working here. And that's the number we had for him. But that was through Linda's account, so it was disconnected.
920-770-6574.
Yep. And then the number he had previously, which he may have gone back to, is the New York number right here.
Hold on a second. Was, what is it?
845.
845, yeah.
597.
597.
6574.
6574, got it. Okay. So, supposed to pay you back once he started working?
Yep. he actually got a job no more than he got here.
Say that again?
He got a job no more than he got here, because he's a cook.
Sure, but he moved in with you?
Yeah.
And what address did he move in with you at?
912 South Greenwood Avenue,
Okay.
at my house.
912.
South Greenwood Avenue, which we still have some of his clothes and stuff at the house. He didn't even take.
An old friend offered shelter. Picked up from the station, he clung to that fragile kindness. The few clothes left in a small room became symbols of survival and a shaky beginning.
Okay. And what all do you have of his right now?
As far as I know, Linda was saying we still have some of his dress clothes, shirts and pants and stuff like that.
Dress clothes, shirts, pants,
Yep.
Any footwear?
That I don't know. Linda just told me about shirts and pants.
Any other property that might be affected? Any paperwork, documents?
There might be some in the bedroom, to be honest with you. I haven't even been in that bedroom since he left.
Okay. And the bedroom you're talking about is which one is that?
It's the front one, front bedroom
Is it
upstairs.
Upstairs. So as I'm going up the stairs, what do I do?
It'd be the first door on the left.
First left?
Yep.
And
Which if you need
we
to,
stop.
stop over.
Okay, we may be interested in whatever stuff that he has. If we're done here and we can drive out there, you can point out to us what is his and we'll get it out of there.
All right.
But I'll speak with the case agent on that so we can confirm that. When we stopped by, your dad kind of showed us the bedroom. There's a lot of stuff there. All
Yeah.
that's not his?
No.
Okay,
No.
just some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe you can point to us whatever his clothing would have been.
Yeah, Linda can show you better than me.
Okay, and we'll,
She goes
we
in
can
there.
all go back. You guys work here together, right?
Yeah.
Okay, sounds
Yeah,
good.
we're married. We just got married a couple weeks ago.
And when did you guys get married?
Oh, that's bad. I don't even remember the date.
That was a couple weeks ago, you should know.
It was,
A couple weeks ago?
yep, a couple weeks ago.
Okay, how long have you guys been dating?
Almost 5 years.
What marriage is this for you?
It was the 13th we got married, August 13th.
There you go, that's better.
Got dates running around. I'm trying to think of dates with stuff
Sure.
with Steve.
What marriage is this for you?
What's that?
What marriage is this?
Second one.
Second one?
Third for her.
Okay, do you know what marriage that was for Steve?
First. As far as I know, it was his first.
Okay. So let's catch up here. He moves in with you. It's you, Linda, and anybody else in the
My
house?
dad.
And your dad. And his name is what?
Jim. James Jackson.
Okay, so now you guys are, and he's staying in that room, and then your dad is on which floor?
He's on the downstairs. in
And
the
you
back
guys are
bedroom.
where?
We're in the upstairs back bedroom.
Okay.
We got 4 bedrooms.
And he gets a job where?
Blackstone East.
Okay. And he gets a job there in like what month do you think?
That was right when he moved out here. Like 2 days after he was here.
A kitchen job soon arrived, but conflict forced him out again. Each unstable step revealed turmoil within, painting a picture of a man drifting toward darker events, waiting in silence.
And your wife set up this thing, she would still have access to maybe, was it a credit card or something when she got the tickets for the Amtrak?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so you probably would be able to get access to that, so
She
you know
probably could,
exactly,
yeah.
online banking or
Yeah.
something. Because that will tell us exactly when he got here.
Yeah.
And then we'll know that a couple of days later, he got a job at, and do you know what he did there?
He was a cook / manager.
Okay. And do you know how he learned about that job?
I bought him down there. We
Oh.
used to go to Blackstone West all the time, and the one waitress there, Melissa, told us that they were looking.
Okay. And did you frequent with the one on the east at all, or not?
Nah.
Okay. So
Only
you,
time I was ever in there was to bring him in for the interview, actually.
from Melissa, which is west?
Yeah. But she no longer works there.
You don't know her last name, right?
I have no idea. Linda might know her last name, because with Linda's business, they dealt together.
Okay. And you brought him down there, and he had the interview, and he got the job, and how long did he work there?
Probably about a month.
Do you know what caused him to leave?
He actually talked to the boss's son, because they were working them ridiculous hours, and he had talked to his son about it, and he told him that he needed a day off, and they told him, well, if you can't work it, we don't need you.
Okay, so conflict with boss about
About too many hours.
too many hours,
Yep,
so he quit
yep.
or was fired? Do you know?
Basically, it was a mutual agreement, I guess you could say.
Okay. Do you know anybody that he would have met at this restaurant?
I don't know the girl's mother's name, but the mother and daughter both work there. The daughter's name is Jordan, and that's the girl he started dating, which if you need, I have her phone number
Sure.
too.
Jordan started dating. She was what, a waitress?
Yeah, and I know the mother wasn't very happy about it.
Okay.
Yeah, this is Jordan's phone number right there.
Give me a second. Do you know why Mom was not happy?
I think she had interest in Steve first. Not only that, you look at the daughter's age compared to Steve's.
So age and Mom may have been interested?
Yep.
I got it, thank you.
In the shadows of tangled relationships, Steve began dating Jordan, a young waitress. But her mother fiercely disapproved, sparking conflict and casting suspicion over his intentions.
How come you have Jordan's phone number?
Because she called me looking for Steve the one day, and I had no idea where he was either, which turned out, I guess, he was with some other girls, so.
Do you know who that girl might have been?
All I know is she's a little Asian girl, and she frequents Richard Cranium's,
Okay.
which he's in there all the time.
Do you know her name or number?
I have no idea.
Little Asian girl from, what is it called?
Richard Cranium's? Everybody knows it as Dickheads.
Makes sense. I'm sure that's why they named it that.
Oh.
And it's a bar, right?
Yeah, it's right on the corner of Broadway and 5th.
So he frequents that?
Yeah, he's there all the time. You always see him sitting out front having cigarettes.
How did he find that place?
From living at my house,
It's close.
3 blocks away. 3 or 4, I believe it's 3 blocks.
And would you go there as well with him? There?
Once in a rare occasion, I'm not a heavy drinker or nothing. Oh.
Okay, so let's talk about quickly his relationship. So this Jordan girl, he was seeing her. Mother was not happy about that. She may have been interested in him, and then there was an age difference. And then he was also maybe seeing this little Asian girl from this bar. Any other women that you're aware of in his life?
That's the only 2 I know of.
Okay, so is he still dating Jordan, from what you understand?
As far as I know, I haven't talked to him since June.
Okay.
So since the incident with the Blazer.
Okay, we'll get to that. So let's try to keep it chronological. So we're in January, a little after he moves here. Shortly after getting here, he works at Blackstone East for about a month. He starts dating Jordan there. There's conflict about too many hours, mutual agreement. He leaves. What happens to him next?
Shortly after that, probably week and a half later, he wanted to get back into landscaping, so I told him I know NEW Landscaping is always looking for help. So he started working there. I think about the time, I think it was later than, he had to have come out here probably in April. Now that I'm thinking about it, because he worked at
Well,
Blackstone for a short time, and then after that he worked at NEW, and then right after that's when he wrecked the Blazer.
Soon after, Steve found work at a landscaping company. His old GMC broke down, forcing him into a red Blazer. That very vehicle would soon become the centerpiece of a haunting tragedy.
Well, think about it. Was there snow on the ground when you drove to Chicago to pick him up or not?
Nope, it was after that.
Okay, so we have to modify it, that it wasn't in January, that it was maybe something more.
April, May, it had to have been April, now that I'm thinking about it.
Okay, so around April time.
Yep.
Early this year, around April time. So then when he comes out here, now we move over to a month at Blackstone, not Blackstone.
Yeah, you was at Blackstone.
Okay. And then a week and a half after he leaves there, he wants to get into landscaping, you suggest?
NEW.
NEW.
Abrams.
Abrams, okay. And he gets a job there?
He got the job there, yeah.
Okay. And, by the way, what kind of vehicle is he using as soon as he gets here?
He was using, at first he was using my 2000 GMC pickup truck.
2000 GMC truck, yep.
Pickup. And then we noticed, I went to do some work on it and noticed the frame was cracked on it. So then he started using our 99 Blazer.
So from when to when did he use the GMC truck?
Right after he got out here for probably about the first month. And then that's when I went to do some work on it and noticed the frame was cracked, so that's off the road now.
So then it was the 1999
Blazer.
Chevy Blazer, what color is that?
Red.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one he wrecked.
Anything distinct about it? Roof rack?
Had a roof rack on it.
Okay. Tinted windows?
Yeah, they were black tint, which is factory on them, but they're dark black.
So factory tinted windows. Anything else on it that's somewhat descriptive?
No, that one didn't even have bumper stickers, I don't think, on it. That was a pretty clean, straightforward truck.
Okay.
No GMC out of it, this thing.
And he used that from about a month after he got here until he wrecked it in, when, June, when that was?
June, yeah.
Got it. Okay, so going back, we're now at, he's doing landscaping for NEW Abrams, and he's doing that for how long?
Right up till he wrecked the Blazer, which was maybe, 3 weeks, 4 weeks?
Got it. All right, so now let's talk about the wreck. That was in June. Do you remember the date or anything like that?
No, it's not.
Okay, so tell me the story about the whole Blazer situation.
That night, that morning, I came walking out.
Was it a weekday, a weekend?
It was a weekday, because he should have been at work.
Okay.
And I want to say it was later in the week, probably like Thursday or something like that.
Okay.
One morning, the Blazer vanished. Steve feigned confusion, claiming theft, yet police discovered it burned to ashes just blocks away, raising grim questions that no lie could silence.
But I came out in the morning and let the dogs out,
Mm-hmm.
and he should have been going to work, so I didn't even think nothing of the Blazer not being there.
Okay.
And Linda was already at work, and next thing you know, he walks out behind me.
Okay.
So I said to him, "Where's the Blazer?"
Mm-hmm.
"Oh my God, somebody must have stolen it."
Okay.
You know? So of course I jumped right on the phone and I called the police department.
Okay.
Well, the girl on the phone told me she's glad that I called and this and that, they'd send an officer right over.
Okay.
Well, pretty much no more than I hung up the phone, the officer came around the corner.
And let me back up a little bit. Did anyone else use the Blazer during that period of time? And how many keys were to the Blazer?
I think we had 3 sets. I
And
had one,
he
Linda
had one
and
set?
he had one.
He had one, you had one, who else had
And
one?
Linda had a set.
Okay. And you and Linda spoke, and neither one of you
Nope.
used it, and both of you had the keys still?
Yeah.
Well, they weren't missing?
No.
Were his set of keys missing? Yep. Okay, so let's talk about this. So now the police officer comes, what happens next?
He walks up and he kind of had a smile on his face. He says, "I'm glad you called," he says, "because I was on my way here anyway." And I was like, "What's going on, you know?" And he goes, "Well, we know where your car is. It was involved in an accident and a fire."
Okay.
So, of course, right there, I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" You know? And, they said it was on fire like 2.5 blocks away from the house.
Okay.
Then Steve disappeared. He went back up into his room, and then the officer asked me, you know, who was probably driving it and like that. And I told him Steve was using it for work, and he wasn't even supposed to take it for anything other than work. So
That was the rules, that it's not an open invitation for him to use the truck, it was for him to go to and from
to
work?
and from work.
Got it, okay.
And then he was taking it once in a while down to the bar and all, and like I told him, the bar's only a couple blocks walk.
But you knew and didn't stop it, that he was taking it?
Well, I had, the night before the accident, I just straight up told him, no more. It's to work and back, and that is it.
But you knew of him taking it to the bar before?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's why I got down on him and I told him no more, or he wasn't gonna have a vehicle to drive even to work.
What happened the night before? Did you go to bed and?
The night of the accident?
The night, well, yeah, before, whatever, before. In the morning you wake out and you see it's missing.
Yeah.
So go back the previous
That
night.
night there, I went to bed, he was stone cold sober.
And where was he?
He was, for a little bit, he was down in the living room watching TV with me, and then he went up to his bedroom and was watching TV up
And
there.
then where was Linda that night?
Linda was already in bed, she goes to bed at like
Okay,
8:30.
and then your dad?
My dad, he was in his room.
Okay, so everyone went to bed, you and him were in a TV situation, and then he goes to bed before you or after you?
He always used to watch TV up in his room.
Okay.
So he went upstairs.
So last you knew of him was he was not drinking, at home sober, went to his room, and then you went to bed, and now we're in the next morning.
Confronted by police, Steve denied everything, even as fresh wounds marked his face and knee. His lies grew heavier, while evidence closed in, tightening the noose around him.
Yep, that's when I walked out.
Do you remember how early you walked out in the morning to find the truck missing?
7:30, somewhere around there.
And that was to go to work, and you noticed
Oh, that was to let the dogs out.
dogs.
And then I get ready for work from there. Depends on
Okay,
what
and
my
the only thing that, it normally should be gone, because he should already be at work, but what was weird is then he walks out.
And he
and
walks
says,
out
"Where is
behind
it?"
me.
Okay, so the cop tells you it was in a fire, he goes back inside the house, then what happens next?
The cop asked me what I knew about it, and
You said he
basically-
drives it back and forth from work, then what happens next?
And he told me to get Steve.
Yep,
And then they brought Steve out, they were asking him all kinds of questions.
yep, then what happens?
About this, that, and the other thing, and of course, Steve denied everything, you know.
Steve denied what?
Any question they asked him, if he was driving it, or where he was.
How do you know that Steve denied, driving cars?
I was standing there when the officer was talking to him.
Okay, and then
And
what
then a
happened?
second officer pulled up.
Okay, then what happened?
And then, they pretty much told him, fess up to it, and they told him, you know, he was looking at just a couple of tickets if he fessed up to it, where if he didn't, then they had to come back. If they proved that it was him, then he would be looking at several felonies. And he still just kept denying everything. Yet he had a fresh cut across his forehead, he had a fresh cut on his left knee.
Hold on a second. First cut on forehead?
Yep.
And where else?
And on his left knee.
What did he say about those?
He claimed that he did that at work. And that's when the officer asked him if he filled out an accident report, and that's when I said that the day before, when he got home from work, that cut wasn't on his forehead.
Okay, and when did he claim he got the cut on the forehead, at work?
The day before. Which,
And you knew that wasn't to be, what did he say that he filled out a accident thing at work?
he said that they get cut all the time.
So, no, he didn't?
No. Then one time or another, there was a bloody rag on the step.
Give me 1 second to catch up here. Did you tell the officer he didn't have the cut the day before?
Mm-hmm. Cop was standing right there when I said it.
And what did they or Steve say to that?
Steve said that it happened at work, that I must not have noticed it. And like I told him, a 6-inch cut on his forehead, I think I'd notice it.
It was that large, 6 inch?
Oh, yeah, he had a nice, right across the right side of his forehead, top to bottom.
Did they take any pictures of it?
I don't believe they did. And then Linda had said there was a bloody rag on the step when she left for work. And Steve must have gotten rid of that. I dug through the garbage can and all. I don't know what he did with it.
Linda said what?
There was a bloody rag laying on the front steps,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't see it, so he must have gotten rid of it. I looked around in the garbage can and all, and I never found it, so I don't know what he did with it.
Linda recalled a bloody rag on the doorstep that suddenly vanished. The hastily erased traces left chills behind. Was this a careless accident or a dark crime concealed?
So did you ask him when the police left about the cut on his forehead and the bloody rag?
He pretty much locked himself in the room for a little while, and then I had to go to work, so I really didn't even talk to him until later on that afternoon.
Okay, so did we finish everything with the police, that he denied everything, there was a cut, he said you must have got it at work, and you said, no, you didn't have it, he said, well, you must have missed it. Then later on, Linda said, was it later on or when the police were there, she talked about the rag?
When she got home from work, and that's also when she noticed the gas can that was out by the garage in
Okay,
the
so
back seat of her Jeep.
we'll get back to that, so this is after the cops already leave?
Yeah.
Okay, but this is in the morning, you're talking to the cops, he denies it, cut situation, anything else happens with the cops?
Not really, they were just kind of pushing him. They were kind of really pushing him with a bunch of questions. I was just getting fuming at this point, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And so I kind of walked away for a little bit and take care of the dogs and get ready for work myself, you know, and they told him that they'd be in touch with him.
Okay.
And that's the last we heard of it.
And then he did what now? You said he locked himself in the room?
He went up into his room and I left for work because I had customers coming.
Okay, and then Linda came home later?
Yeah.
I mean, did you speak with him after the police left?
No.
Okay.
I had to go to work. I had customers coming.
Okay, Linda came home about what time then that day?
Probably about 4:30, her usual time, somewhere in that neighborhood.
Hey, before we continue, so we can do things quicker, what we'd like to do is while we're talking, would it be okay if I have my computer analyst just look at the contents of your phone? Would that be all right? Because of maybe there's contacts and stuff like that that might be important to us. Let me do that quick while we're talking. That way, hopefully by the time we're done, that's done.
All right.
Do you have a passcode on the phone?
No.
And what's your cell phone provider?
Cellcom.
Cellcom. And what is Steven in there in the phone as?
It's under Steve. It's two different places with both of the phone numbers. They're both Steve.
After police left, Steve locked himself inside his room. Meanwhile, Linda noticed a chilling clue, an empty gas can. It was once half full, but now the blazer lay in ashes.
Steve, okay. Is that okay if I take that over there, Tom? Okay, I'll do that, and then I'll be right back, and then we'll continue talking, all right?
All right.
All right, thank you. Like I said, I have a regular soda, diet soda, and water right next door. Do you want one of those?
Sure, I'll take a soda.
Okay, diet or regular?
Regular.
Okay.
Thanks.
And just so you understand that you absolutely don't have to give me consent to look in your phone. It's completely voluntary on your behalf, and you could tell me at any time to stop, and I will.
If you find anything,
Okay.
good luck.
Okay, sounds good. All right, give me a second. That's my Coke work?
Thank you.
Give me a couple of minutes, I'll be right back.
If needed,
Yep.
that's my new phone. I had just gotten it
Uh-huh.
right after the wedding. My old phone, they actually took it, Cellcom.
Okay.
So I've only had that phone for like 2 weeks, so I don't,
Okay.
a lot of stuff didn't transfer.
So Cellcom has your old one?
Yeah,
Oh,
because I
sounds-
broke it.
Okay. Okay, hopefully that will take not too long and they can grab that. So the number that you had before, you said this phone was, a couple of weeks you've had this phone?
Yeah. Yeah, I broke my phone actually the day of the wedding.
Old phone, what happened to the old phone?
Fell out of my pocket and shattered.
And is it old phone, same number?
Yeah.
And that went to Cellcom?
Yep.
Perfect.
And it was turned in for the insurance on it.
Got it. Okay, so that takes us to, so Linda comes home, and then Linda tells you what?
Linda was fuming naturally because the car was wrecked.
You told her about it?
Yep.
Okay,
And
and
then,
she said something about finding the rag,
Yeah, she told me about the rag on the step, and she asked me why I put the gas can in the back seat of her Jeep.
So let's back up for the rag. What happens to the rag? She asked you about the rag,
Yeah.
and then what did you do with it?
I guess it was still on the front step, and then he must have gotten rid of it.
The smoke from the burned-out car still lingered as suspicion filled the house. Secrets around Steve deepened. Was he truly unlucky, or hiding a terrible truth from everyone?
Okay, so she finds it on the step, she asks you about it, you don't know nothing about it, and then the next thing it's gone.
Well, then she also said that about Steve must have been smoking in the house, because I own the house and I don't smoke in the house. And when she got ready for work, there was a cigarette butt laying in the toilet.
Okay.
There's actually a picture on my phone if you look at her text message of that.
Okay.
And then,
So-
he must have gotten rid of that.
What's the significance of him smoking?
I don't like smoking in my house,
Okay.
and I'm a smoker.
Sure. And then she also said, what about the gas can?
She asked me why the gas can was in the back seat of her Jeep.
And you didn't know that?
No, the gas can we just used it the day before because Steve gave me a hand mowing the lawn. And it was half full sitting out by the garage. And then all of a sudden, the following day, it's in Linda's back seat empty and the Blazer was torched overnight.
Okay, did you go in the back of the Jeep and see it there?
Yeah.
Okay, and what did you do with it?
I put it by the front porch and we called Green Bay Police Department and told them about it and nobody ever came back about it.
Where is it now?
It's back in the garage.
Okay, and did they say they were gonna send somebody out?
That I don't know, Linda called them.
Okay.
Linda was more in touch with the officer than I was through the whole deal because it was in her name, so everything was kind of going after her with it.
So, tell me who has access to Jeep keys?
I have a key and Linda has a key, but her keys always sat on the stand. So pretty much anybody in the house had access to them.
In the living room?
Yep.
But she was at work. Was she not using the Jeep when she was at work?
No, she took the Jeep to work at 4:30 in the morning.
Okay, so she...
And then she noticed that night that the gas can was in the back seat. She didn't even notice it in the morning.
So when the Jeep was there, she took it, so presumably he would have used the Jeep before 4:30.
Yep. Now, which the fire department was called in at 2:50, I think they said it was.
Okay, so then, do you or Linda confront Steve about this?
Yep.
Okay.
We talked to him about it, and he knows nothing about it. Complete denial about everything.
Steve's body language betrayed him. His words rang hollow. Though he claimed innocence, suspicion grew heavier. Even family sensed his lies, while police urged patience in their probe.
But you don't believe him?
Not at all.
Why not?
Just because of the way his body language and his actions were. And then the police officer told Linda to just, let them do their investigation, so we let them stay at the house for a couple weeks afterwards. And we had to go to New York for my son's wedding, and that's when we told him he had to go. That he wasn't staying there while we weren't there.
So you left for a trip and kicked him out before that?
We actually got him a train ticket to go back to, it was a train or bus ticket, I believe it was, to go back.
Did he ever pay you for the original?
Nope. Just to get rid of him, Linda says, we'll just spend the money, get him a ticket to go home. I don't even think he actually ever left. 'Cause
Okay.
he was back in Wisconsin before we were back from New York.
So when you guys left for New York, what month was that?
That was June 19th, I believe.
Okay, so did you get him a ticket to leave before you left for New York?
Yeah, we dropped him off at the station in Chicago.
And the ticket was to go where?
Back to Newport News, Virginia.
And you believe that he didn't use it?
I think, personally myself, I don't know, but personally, I think his girlfriend was sitting right around the corner. He cashed in the ticket and came right back.
Which girlfriend?
That Jordan.
Okay. And what was the reason that you guys wanted to give him a ticket to leave and all that?
So that he could
get him out of your house?
Yep.
Okay, you were tired of him?
Yep, had
Okay.
enough, especially with the accident and everything.
What happened after that? Did you maintain contact with him, or?
When we were in New York, he texted me something on the line of, how's your vacation, or you enjoying your vacation or something, and then he said that he was sitting at the bus station because he had no place to go.
Which bus station?
Supposedly in Virginia.
Okay, yep.
That's the way I took it, the way he had the text written,
Okay.
And then basically that was the last I've even talked to him.
Okay, so during trip, got text, he was at bus station, which you believed
I had a feeling that he was still here.
it was in Virginia, but I suspected he was back in Wisconsin. Said no place to go, right?
Yep.
A train ticket was bought to send Steve away, but whispers followed. Some believed he never left, that he cashed it in and circled back, hiding in plain sight with Jordan nearby.
Last time communicated with him, right?
He tried calling me one time after we got back, but I didn't answer the phone and didn't call him back. I think he caught the hint. I had enough of him.
Okay, so now let's back up. During the time he's living here, which is only for a matter of several months,
Yeah.
did you guys do anything social together?
Oh, yeah.
What kind of stuff?
We went out to the bar for my birthday to one night and stuff like that.
What else besides bar?
He did a couple of jobs with me at the shop, and he helped me
So
out
bar,
with a few
work,
things.
what else?
Other than that, basically, that was about it.
You got
Hung
fish
out at
together?
the house. We did go on a fishing trip down in Racine.
How many fishing trips?
One.
So that was one
Yeah.
in Racine.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. When was that?
That was in, it was probably,
Before or after the wreck?
that was before. Actually, it was two trips, because we went on a brook trout trip also, and that was up north. I forgot about that one.
Okay, so where? Racine and where else?
Iron Mountain.
Iron Mountain. Okay,
Iron
so
Mountain,
one is
Iron
north, one is south,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so which one happened first?
The salmon trip in Racine.
Racine.
Yeah.
And where in Racine is that?
It's for, A1 Big Fish Charters.
Okay, but where, like geographically? What lake?
It's Michigan.
Okay, so Lake Michigan. And you said A1 what?
A1 Big Fish
Big fish.
Charters.
Fish.
He's a good friend of mine.
Charters, and for what kind of fish?
Salmon.
Salmon. And that's a boat trip?
Yeah.
Okay, so try to think of when that was.
That had to have been, that was shortly after he got here. Probably end of April, beginning of May.
Is there anything on your phone that would help you remember the time?
Possibly, if there's a
or-
text from Mike, we usually talk on the phone, not text.
Or how did you pay for this trip?
Oh, he's a friend of mine. He calls me up and says, come on down.
Would you have any records on when you guys?
Probably not, because it wasn't listed as a charter.
Okay, so the guy's a friend, what's his name?
Mike Hankey,
Mike, H-A-N,
K-E.
okay, and he's owner?
Yeah.
Fishing trips and nights at the bar painted a normal picture, yet every shared moment carried unease, an unspoken doubt whether Steve's charm masked something darker.
So, and you have his phone number in your phone?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's it under?
It's under, Mike Racine.
Mike Racine?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're thinking April, May, and tell me about this trip. Was it a weekday, a weekend?
We went down on a Friday night, and we went on a fishing trip Friday night, we went out for a little bit, and then Saturday morning, we went out for a little bit.
And how many times did you go down there?
With Steve just once.
Okay, and how positive are you? I know you were having some difficulties remembering when things were. How positive are you that you were down there Friday night or Saturday?
I know it was on a Friday night. We went down on a Friday night, and we fished Friday night, and then Saturday morning. I know that.
So if we have information that Steve was in town on a Friday night, that's not possible?
Probably not that night.
Okay.
I don't think it was a Saturday into a Sunday. I'm almost positive it was a Friday
Well, why don't you
into
think?
a Saturday.
It's one thing. Yeah, I need you to think and let me know if you're certain about it or you're not certain about it, because I'm going to tell you that we have information and surveillance footage of certain things. So,
No.
you know, if you remember something for certain, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine, and tell me as well.
No. I'm almost positive it was a Friday into a Saturday.
Okay, like I said, is there anything on your phone that'll help you jog your memory? Would you have sent some text messages? Would you have made some calls?
Me and Mike don't usually text back and forth once in a rare.
I'm saying not between you and Mike, between you and anybody that you would have communicated with your wife. Maybe you would have communicated while you were gone.
That's possible.
You know what I mean?
That's very possible.
If you were gone, maybe you would have sent her some. Why don't we wait till your phone is back so we can take a look at that so we can
Yeah,
remember.
on my other phone, we had the SD card at home with the pictures. That gives
Okay.
me the exact date.
That's what we'll need to do. So SD card at home.
Yeah.
From old phone.
Yeah. That would have the exact date of when we were down there, because there's
Perfect.
pictures of Steve holding fish.
Perfect. But for sure, what we can tell it was overnight.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see here. Pictures of Steve holding fish. Overnight, and you fished in the evening and then in the morning.
Yes.
And it was boat fishing, right? And anybody else go besides the three of you?
Nope.
Okay.
Or did Jimmy go that day?
Photos of Steve holding fish smiled back from memory cards, but behind those smiles lay scars and wounds. His gashed knee and bruised head hinted at secrets no fishing trip could hide.
What do you think? Sometimes he goes, sometimes he doesn't. I think Jimmy, the mate, was with us with Steve. He was.
And who's Jimmy?
Jimmy's Mike's mate.
Okay, so that's somebody that lives in Racine.
Yeah.
So it would have been the four of you,
Yeah.
Mike, Jimmy, and what's Jimmy's a mate?
Yep. And that's Mike's first mate.
So it's an employee.
Yeah.
Do you know his last name?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I just know him as Jimmy.
And tell me about, so you told me that sometime after that is when this wreck happened with a truck and you noticed a gash on his forehead and thing with his knee. How did you notice the knee?
He had shorts on.
Okay. Was that a pretty serious gash? Or?
There was a good sized hole in the side of his knee.
Interesting. What did he say? How did he get injured at work?
He said he walked into a tree limb.
How did he explain the knee?
He never said nothing about his knee.
Odd. So, did you recall him having any injuries when you guys went on this fishing trip?
No.
Okay. And do you remember anything odd about that trip so Steve acted normally?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was a normal trip, you guys went fishing, normal conversation, normal time together.
Yeah.
Where did you guys stay overnight?
At Mike's house. He had his camper set up outside.
You guys stayed in the camper?
Mm-hmm. Actually, the camper's at my house right now.
Is any of Steve's belonging in the camper?
No.
Okay, so nothing odd about the trip, you know it was overnight, we're gonna try to figure out what, is it possible it could have been Friday into Saturday? It's also possible it could have been Saturday to Sunday? Is that an accurate representation? So we'll do that, possible Friday into Saturday, or possible Saturday into Sunday. But we'll be able to figure that out before the day's over through text messages or pictures for sure.
I have the pictures on that
Awesome.
SD card.
I think that would be important for us to take a look at. So possible Friday into Saturday, or Saturday into Sunday. And we'll obviously, I mean, right now we don't even have the month, so we'll try to figure out the month.
Yeah, 'cause that phone there.
Tell
the
me-
date right on it.
Tell me about, so whatever day it is that you left for Racine, tell me about that day. What happened that day? Did you work?
I did a couple of jobs that morning, that's why I'm thinking it was a Friday.
As timelines blurred, detectives pressed harder. Was it Friday or Saturday? Witnesses faltered. Phones and pictures became the only anchors of truth amid Steve's shifting alibis.
I did a couple of jobs at the shop that day.
Did you ever work on the weekend?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so that doesn't really help.
It could be either day.
Okay, so that day you worked, where was your wife?
I believe she was at work. That's why I'm thinking it was a Friday.
Wife worked, does she ever work on the weekends?
No.
Okay, wife worked for sure, or that's what you believe?
I'm thinking she was at work.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Okay.
We put in so many hours, it's hard to say.
Right, and that's what I told you earlier, if you're not certain about something, just let me know. It's okay, I'm really good at being able to tell when somebody just purely doesn't remember something.
No.
And I really truly believe that you're being absolutely forthcoming with me, so, you know, you telling me something that's not the truth is not even something that I'm considering, because I can tell when somebody's being truthful or when somebody just doesn't remember something.
Yeah.
And you're being very helpful, so I do appreciate that. And tell me about Steve, what was his day like that day?
I believe that day he just stayed home. I think he was home all day that day.
What makes you believe that?
Because that was in between him working at Blackstone and NEW.
Between jobs, Blackstone, NEW. And, but you don't know because you weren't home?
No.
And when did you guys leave for the trip? What time?
It was probably around noon, 1 o'clock, somewhere around there. So we got down there, I want to say it was about 4 o'clock, we got down there and we went out at about 5.
You drove?
Yeah.
Okay, did you bring anything like a boat or anything?
No.
Or no?
No, just a suitcase with some clothes for overnight.
Okay. And tell me what happened the day before you guys left for the trip.
Day before that, and I know I worked. I think he spent pretty much all day with Jordan. I know Linda worked. It was basically just a normal...
Okay, that's during the day, and how about night?
At night, usually he was with Jordan unless she was working, because she delivers for Glass Nickel Pizza. And normally he'd either be up in his room, or sometimes he'd walk down to the bar, down to the Dickheads there.
Okay, so she delivered, Jordan
As far as I know, she still works there.
delivered Glass Nickel Pizza?
Yep.
So you don't remember what happened that night, however, his pattern is either be with her if she's not working.
Yep.
Beneath the surface, troubling patterns emerged. Theft, drugs, and missing pills from the house deepened mistrust. Steve's past, marked by crime and whispers of violence, shadowed every word he spoke.
Or he'd hang out up in his room, or he'd head down to Dickheads.
Room or bar?
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty simple.
That was basically his routine.
So, okay. And would he drink heavily?
Not when I was around him.
Would he drink heavily when you weren't around him?
That's a good question. I have
You
no
don't know.
idea.
Okay. Do you, anything else about his personality? Is he a cheat, a thief, violent, anything like that?
From what I understand, in the last few years since, other than in New York, like I told Linda, he was a totally different person this time around. But you figure we weren't together for about 10 years other than talking on the phone. From what I understand, I guess he's had quite the reputation of stealing stuff. And I found that out through the Green Bay Cop.
Okay. Anything else?
I know he drinks. He used in there for a while. I know he was in a run with drugs.
How do you know that?
Well, years ago, I smoked weed with him and stuff like that.
Anything else besides weed?
So, I know there for a while he was into crack.
Okay.
That's when me and him didn't hang out in New York.
How did you know about that?
Through his wife and other people around that knew him.
And that was in New York?
Yep. And then we actually found pills missing out of our house after the accident.
What kind of pills?
Phenobarbital and what did I want to say it was? I had just had surgery and half of my bottle of painkillers were missing.
Did you ever confront him about it?
No, because we found him after he was gone.
So painkillers and what else?
Phenobarbital, it's for the dog for the seizures.
Phenobarbital dog. And what was your pain meds?
Dilaudid, I believe it was. Linda knows the name of them.
Dilaudid, you
Yeah.
think? And
I never even took them because I didn't
you
need them.
suspect that he may have taken them?
He's the only one in the house that would have.
Okay. Anything else about him? Do you know any information about him ever being violent or anything like that?
I guess years ago, back like teenager days, I guess he was cleared of a murder charge. Which I just found that out recently. When he was actually at the house, he was talking about it one day. I guess somebody stabbed him and then he ended up killing the guy and he was cleared of it.
So when did he tell you this?
It was during the stay when he was at the house. He was talking about how bad it was down in Virginia down there.
Was this before or after the fishing trip?
Probably right around the same time, maybe right before that.
The man recalls being stabbed in Virginia and defending himself. Around a campfire, he mentioned murders but denied killing. Investigators press about his ties and associates.
Was the Racine trip before or after, was the North trip before or after Racine trip?
I'll say that was before.
Okay, so first the
I can
North
find
trip.
out the exact date on that because my buddy that we went with goes every year the same time of year.
Okay, so possibly before the Racine fishing trip.
Yeah.
How did that discussion even come up?
We were just talking about different stuff in Newburgh and like that, because I guess there was a couple of things in New York my son had told me about, and there were quite a few rashes of murder or whatever. And we were just talking about that the one night sitting around the fire, and then he mentioned about down in Virginia how bad it was, and he was like, yeah, I got stabbed years ago, and this and that.
So he said he got stabbed by a guy, and then he killed the guy. Did he say how he killed the guy?
No.
No, and then he said he was
And he
cleared.
said he was cleared because they said
Anything
it was
else?
self-defense. When I knew him in New York, he was never really destructive or anything. I mean, the biggest thing was his wife and kids, you know.
Anything else do you think that might be important for me to know about him or anyone that he associates with or anything else like that?
Not really.
So he knows a couple of girls in town, he knows you and your wife. Does he know anyone else in town?
Some of the guys, he hangs out with them at the bar, and last I heard, he was working for some drywall company.
Okay. Anything else you can think of?
Not offhand.
Okay. So I'm not actually what we call as a case agent, the primary agent. The primary agent has a lot of responsibilities, and he's asked several of us to talk to numerous people. So he assigned me to speak with you. What I'm going to do is, I took a bunch of notes. I have horrible handwriting. I carry my little iPad around with me, so I want to put some of that information down, what we talked about, so I have it correct. Then I'll also go speak with the case agent, see if he has anything to add or anything like that. But so what I'd like to do is just so you understand what we're doing. I'd like to put that down, what we talked about. I'd like to get you your phone back. I'd like to make sure so we can get that information down. I'm interested in this fishing trip and when that might have happened. When we're all said and done, maybe the case agent will come and accompany us over to the house. If you got the clothing, maybe you can show us, or if there's anything else around. I'm really interested in that SD card so we can look at those photographs.
That did the exact thing.
The agent explains the process, gathering details to rule out suspects. He stresses every small clue matters and requests a DNA sample to confirm the man's lack of involvement.
That's perfect. I'm really interested in that. What else we're doing is we're doing elimination DNA. We're collecting DNA from everyone that's willing to provide it to us so we can make an elimination of people that are not involved. Do you have any information about any homicide at all besides obviously what he said about this thing in Virginia? Did he disclose anything to you about, he said he never admitted to you as far as being involved in the car crash, right? Did he ever discuss being involved in any kind of a homicide?
No.
Okay. Do you suspect him of being involved in any kind of a homicide?
Never even
crossed
crossed my mind.
And you don't have any involvement in any kind of a homicide?
Oh, no.
Okay. And do you have any knowledge of I've asked you this already, but I'm going to ask again just so I make it clear. Would there have been any period of time he would have disclosed anything to you that was now, looking back on it, make you believe he was talking about a body or a homicide or anything like that?
No.
Okay. He wasn't talking about some woman making him angry or anything like that?
Other than his wife.
Okay. Sounds good.
I know him and Jordan the night at Iraq, I know they were into
So the reason why we do this is, let's say there's a body. You wouldn't have had any contact or involvement with a dead body?
No.
Okay. So that's why we collect the DNA to show that, here we collected it, the individual was cooperative, and, there's no involvement there. So,
if there was, you guys would have gotten a phone call.
and I appreciate that. That's very helpful. So let's start with that. Let's get the DNA thing out of the way.
All right.
I am going to just fill out this quick form, and then I'll go with stuff, and then I'll fill out the form based on what we talked about.
All right.
And I do appreciate you giving us the time. I know it's kind of lengthy, but because we did let you know that it's something important, it's more than a theft, more than an arson, it's a homicide. It behooves us to be very thorough and to speak with everybody. So.
Hey, I understand. Hope it helps.
It does help a lot, even though you don't have any information that you believe is directly related to the homicide. Every single little piece is like a puzzle piece, and then it's up to us to just put it all together.
Put it all together. Yeah.
All right, let's see here. So I do hereby consent to give buccal swab. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little
Like a Q-tip?
Q-tip, and I'm going to rub one on one side of your mouth and then one on the other side, and that'll be it, on the inside of your cheek. So oral swab, which will be obtained by investigator Sergeant Ernestine. That's me, the Brown County Sheriff's Office. I've been advised and understand that an authorized representative of the Wisconsin Crime Lab will examine these samples. I'm going to send it to the crime lab, and they're going to look at it.
The man consents to give DNA. Paperwork is signed, dates confirmed, and investigators swab his mouth. The officer thanks him for cooperating and assures the sample won't be kept.
And then I have the collection procedure explained to me. I just told you I'm going to rub the Q-tips inside your mouth by investigator Ernestine. I understand that I do not have to submit to the collection of said sample, and I do so knowingly and willingly, and I understand that the sample will not be kept permanently. So you don't have to give me the consent if you don't wish to, and I appreciate your assistance in doing that. So what's today, September?
It's the 8th. Tomorrow's my niece's birthday.
Unfortunately, today's the 7th.
Is today the 7th?
Yeah.
Today was the 8th.
Nope, I got 7th. So, and that's why it's great that we have technology and phones like that to help us narrow down the days.
Well,
so.
My days with working for myself, my days combine a lot. That's what I heard, sometimes it's different dates and
So
stuff.
if it's okay with you, I just need your signature there. And then in this line, if you can print your name. And then right next to it, if you don't mind putting the date, you can take my word for it. If I'm wrong, that's my fault. I got 9/7/2016, and I got 4:50 p.m. So let me go check on the phone, and let me go get those Q-tips, and then I'll be back, and we'll get that all done. Let me know if you need to use the bathroom, you want some more soda or water or anything. Okay, give me a couple of minutes. If you need something, just knock on the door, okay? All right, appreciate it. All right, let's get this out of the way. And then I'll check on your phone. Okay, and just open up your box. Be about 5 seconds, okay? Okay. And right cheek. Okay. Let me go put this away, check on your phone, and I'll be right back, okay?
Alrighty. Woods is a weird Dracula.
Is there? All right, we're moving right along. Got your phone. It's all done.
Okay.
If you wanted to go take a peek on your phone to see if you can find some text messages while you guys are on this trip, see if we can narrow down what days they were, or at least even what month it was.
The agent returns his phone, urging him to find texts about fishing dates. Talk shifts to a new phone Linda bought, which he failed to repay, creating distrust and tension.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my direct cell phone number.
Okay.
It's on the back of my business card, and then so you know who I am, since we're exchanging business cards.
Alrighty.
That way, just so you understand, the only thing that I think we're going to take and retain would be that SD card that I can think of. So if
Hey, like I say, I know that will have to...
for whatever reason you wish to change your mind and tell us, for whatever reason, if you change your mind and you want to, revoke your consent for us to take a look at that or whatever, you'll be able to do that by calling the number, okay?
Yeah.
All right, so let's see if I get this information next.
There is text message here from him. Yeah, that was... So June 22nd, that would have been when he texted me. That was when I was in New York. Yeah, see here. Hope you're enjoying yourself on your vacation. Then he put, I put, are you finally home? And he says, hanging out in the bus station because I have nowhere to go.
That was June 22nd?
Yep. That was the last time I had any talking with him or anything like that. I know Linda contacted him after that about the phone, because his phone was on her thing.
All right, so tell me about this. When did you guys get his phone for him?
It was just a little bit before the accident. It was like maybe 2 weeks before the wreck. And then she made, which I was kind of pissed, she made an agreement with him about the phone, and like I told her, he's not gonna pay her. So
What was the agreement?
that he'd pay her so much per month for the phone.
Okay, so she bought him a phone or put him on her plan, or how
Put
did
him
that?
on her plan, because his wife cut her off of hers.
But it was his phone, right?
It was a new phone through Cellcom.
So that was all at the same time, new
Yeah.
phone?
Yeah, he cost us a lot of money.
Okay, so that was all at the same time, he got a new phone for Cellcom, and who paid for the phone?
Linda did.
So Linda paid for the phone and put him on the plan?
Yeah, which he was supposed to pay her back for.
They never did?
Nope.
Details are logged, the phone, SD card, and clothing to be checked. The man signs consent for the search, with rights to revoke later. The exchange stays calm and civil.
His wife kicked him off her plan?
Yep. Supposedly, he sent her money and she never paid the bill or something, from what he said.
And so then what happened with that phone?
I have no idea. As far as I know, he still has it. I try to say, I don't know if he had the old number hooked back up or what.
But Linda kicked him off of it eventually,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When did that happen?
About a month ago probably. Cause he had given her some money. He stopped by the house one day, I wasn't home, and he gave her some money, cause his last check was supposed to go to her and it never did.
Okay, so did you guys ever ask for the phone back?
I know she did it in a text message, I know she never got it back, which I told her she wasn't gonna.
Okay.
I just lost total trust in the man.
How old are you, son?
49. Yeah, he definitely squashed any faith in me that he had.
What's the zip code over by you? Okay, so let's see here.
So Moto X Play or something like that they call it.
So this is basically a consent form of things that we talked about that you're giving us permission to take a look at. So I got your name, your birthday, 49 years old, your address, 912 South Greenwood Avenue, City of Green Bay, Wisconsin, 54304. Do you hereby voluntarily agree to the search of my cell phone? That's the phone number, no passcode, that's already done. SD card, which is at residence that I will turn over. And then also residence, and then put specifically upstairs bedroom to right at top of stairs. We want to look at whatever is there as far as clothing and stuff like that. I wish to state that the above listed is owned, rented, and controlled by me, and that such permission to search this property is given by me freely and voluntarily, without threats, force, duress, or coercion of any kind against me. And once again, you can revoke that consent at any time you wish. You're providing that consent to me and/or also the sheriff's office, anybody that's needed to assist me, like my computer analyst.
They discuss his personal life, avoiding alcohol, fishing often. Asked about Nicole, the witness insists he doesn't know her. The agent carefully rules out possible female connections.
Mine's not much better.
A copy for you. All right, so the only thing that's left is to take my scribbles and make some sense out of them, and then we'll get going on our way. Fair enough?
Yep.
All right. Before I hit this, do you want this?
No, thanks.
Okay.
I still got plenty of this left. Used to be in and out on the boat a lot of times, so I don't drink a lot.
You should be where?
Used to be in and out on a boat a lot, so I don't drink a lot. You tend to entertain, you know. Spend as much time as I can fishing if I'm not working.
So were you able to locate on your phone the time frame when you guys went fishing down in Racine?
That's on that SD card. Those pictures didn't transfer over.
Got it.
The new fishing pictures did, but...
Do you know any females that you or him or anybody was associated with by the name of Nicole, by any chance?
Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
No. Not unless, no, I don't think I have a Nicole that's a customer.
So the name of Nicole Vanderheiden doesn't sound familiar to you?
Not at all.
Okay, sounds good. Is that how you spell his last name, or do you?
As far as I know, it's B-U-R-C-H. I don't believe it's B-I-R.
The man explains, Big Country came from his southern accent and size. He's known the suspect for 20-plus years, later moving to Wisconsin after losing his job and relationship.
Why do they call him Big Country again?
Just because of his southern accent, and then when he was up in New York, because he's such a big guy, so everybody just always called him Big Country. That's actually how he was introduced to me when I first met him. People that you meet that you don't know, huh?
Well, you've known him for a long time, 22 years altogether, huh?
Yep, about that.
What brought you to Green Bay?
My brother's been out here for about 30 years,
Mm-hmm.
and then my sister moved out here about 22 years ago now, 21 years ago, and then my mother moved out shortly after that, so I used to come out here every year for vacation. You know, he said when the time was right, I was making the move and got laid off from work, and then me and my ex-girlfriend split up. So that was a sign that I kind of said it's time to move. And I've always loved it out here. I don't miss New York.
Did you guys ever work together in New York?
Me and Steve? Nope. He was always into sheetrocking like that, where I built quarter-mile race cars for a welding company. He used to work with other friends of mine. Which was mutual friends, you know what I mean?
So when you said that Steve's father-in-law would be in their business, is that from Steve?
Yeah. He always complained about his in-laws being in their business.
Do you know of Steve to be in any kind of gangs or anything else like that?
Not that I know of.
So you said back then, Steve told you about using crack, and then you guys, or who told you about him using crack?
Other friends that did it with him, and once or twice I did it on a rare occasion.
With him?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's how you would know that he
Yeah.
used crack.
I know he did it a lot more than I did. I tried to keep away from that crap once in a while. That was one of my goals to come out here, was to not touch any of it, and I haven't. So, straight and narrow, and don't miss it.
He admitted trying crack with Steve a few times, but never got hooked. After moving to Green Bay, he quit all drugs, calling it a turning point that helped him rebuild his life.
I guess you can say young and stupid, you know?
Did he have any drug issues after he came here?
Not that I know of. The only thing I know was one time he smelled like weed when he walked in the house.
Okay, and you've been off drugs ever since you moved to Green Bay?
I haven't touched anything.
how many years do you think?
Well, before I moved out here, it was in 2008. That was one of my points of moving out here, is to turn my life around, which I did. For the better, that's for sure.
Have you lived in that house the entire time you were here, or how long have
I
you
bought
lived in
the
that
house, I've been there since, I bought the house in 2012, and I actually moved in a year before that.
Okay.
And before that, I lived over on Western Avenue.
So you said you would communicate with him once a month or so from 2007 when you left Virginia up until what year?
Probably up to, I'd have to say probably 2010 or so.
Okay,
And
and
then
then
it kind of went to like maybe every 6 months or a
from
little
2000
longer.
till when?
Up until right before he moved out here.
So about 2016?
Yep.
Was he supposed to pay you rent?
Mm-hmm.
Did he ever pay you rent?
I think the whole time he was there, he gave me $300.
What was he supposed to pay?
It was supposed to be $100 a week.
He said Steve rarely paid rent, giving only $300 total, though he owed $100 weekly. On the phone issue, Steve was removed from the plan after failing to contribute to payments.
So you must have just forgave that or let it go?
Oh, that wasn't working. What are you gonna do? You know? He was out of work, and then he was back to work, and then you had to wait for your paycheck, and then he wrecked the car right after that, so it was like, nothing you can really do, you know what I mean?
Remind me, when did he get the new phone? How long after you got here?
It was about 3 weeks maybe before the accident, 3-4 weeks maybe. One thing I'll probably give you the exact date on that. There's not much help with dates.
No, they're doing fine.
Me and the calendar don't get along.
And she kicked him off the plan when?
A couple of weeks ago. Because he had given her some money towards it, and then it was coming up towards time, and she had texted him and let him know that either, you know, wanted to know what was going on with the phone, and that she wanted the phone back, and then she ended up suspending the service, and then finally ended up, I don't know if she actually even canceled it or not. It might still be under just suspended, because it's like $200 to get them off, you know, to shut it off. How long has this been going on for?
How long has what's been going on?
For this investigation on him?
Several months.
Really? So they knew when he moved out here?
I don't know about that, because he moved out here.
He explained Steve worked in landscaping for 3 to 4 weeks before the crash. The Blazer later caught fire, was taken to a tow lot, and finally went to a salvage yard, leaving no trace.
Well, the homicide happened here in Green Bay.
Okay.
So it wouldn't have been, it would have been sometime after he moved out here.
That way they seemed like they went off a light on him with the accident?
I'm sorry?
Is that why it seems like they went so light on him with the accident?
I don't know, I can't speculate or speak to that.
As it just seemed like a lot of stuff was overlooked when it came down to that accident.
Okay, so about a week and a half after he left Blackstone, he went to landscaping.
Yeah.
And then, which was about, and then he worked there for about 3 to 4 weeks until the accident happened.
Until the accident, yeah.
What happened to that Blazer?
It was down at, heavy duty towing on the belt, and it ended up going to the junkyard. We ended up it was either pay the bill and then get the thing back, and it was well over $500, or just give them the title to it. And from my understanding, it's gone now.
What do you mean by gone?
It went to a salvage yard.
Okay.
Because I wanted to go get more pictures of it, because when they ticketed Linda,
So salvage yard, and then where to go from there?
probably got crushed. Oh, don't even know, I mean, heavy duty might be able to tell you where it was towed to, but they said because of the fire, they couldn't even get DNA to prove that he was driving it.
Okay.
But that's another thing that ticked me off, because I was an inspector for years in New York, and the damage was vehicle inspector, safety inspector and all. And the damage was all to the right side front of the car, and the fire was all in the driver's seat.
Okay.
So how was that caused by the accident? It wasn't. There's no way anybody could tell me it was.
Did you see the truck?
Oh yeah, we got pictures of it. Linda's got pictures on her phone.
Okay.
And when you go through that SD card, there's all kinds of pictures of that, as well as the accident scene with the pack of his cigarettes laying right on the ground.
Okay. What kind of cigarettes does he smoke?
Maverick menthol 100s. That I actually have a picture right here.
He suspected Steve set the Blazer on fire to hide evidence, since the burn marks centered on the driver's seat. Police also found a fluid trail and a pack of Steve's cigarettes nearby.
What is it, Maverick?
Maverick menthol 100s. Same as this right here, except he smokes menthol. It's in a green pack.
Okay.
This phone takes forever to turn on. You tell I don't like the new phone too much. This one drives me crazy. Come on. There we go.
I don't need to see the picture, that's okay.
All right.
How do you spell Maverick?
Maverick.
Got it.
And he smokes the menthols.
Got it.
Rushed out of his pocket.
think that Steve crashed the Blazer and set it on fire to cover it up?
Yep. And it's just strange if somebody stole it from our house, the accident happened clear across town, and then they tried returning it. Just doesn't add up. Because he smacked it up 2 blocks away from Jordan's house over on Wobble. He hit another car that was parked on the side of the road, I guess. The way the officer from Green Bay Police Department told Linda the way they found it, me too, in the morning they knocked on the door, was the one officer actually followed the fluid trail from the accident to where they found the car on fire. Clear across town.
That was June 22nd, you got that text?
Yeah.
During the trip, okay.
Yep. And I had a feeling right there that he was already back in Green Bay. And from what my neighbor said, he believed he saw him about 2 o'clock in the morning sitting in front of our house one of the days we were in New York. 'Cause he went out to walk his dog.
A neighbor reported seeing Steve near the house late at night while they were away. When told Steve was a homicide suspect, he reacted with clear shock and disbelief at the news.
So up until I told you that we were investigating a homicide, does that surprise you that Steve is a person of interest in the homicide?
Oh yeah, definitely. It definitely caught me off guard when the other officer told me that.
All right, well, let's take a look at what we have here. So now we talked about a lot of stuff, and I took a lot of notes, and now I've kind of put the information together on here based on the information that you told me. But I still want to make sure that it's true and accurate. And I definitely can mishear and misunderstand things, so because it's on the computer, we can make a change right away on here. So let's do that. If something is incorrect, we can always take it away, clarify, add to it, whatever we need to do. But I want to make sure it's accurate because it's very important.
Yep.
Okay. So first I want you to look on here, make sure that I spelled your name correct, your birthday, your phone number, your address. Is that all correct?
Yep.
Okay, now I'll go paragraph by paragraph with you. On 9/7/2016, my wife and I agreed to willingly and voluntarily come to the Brown County Sheriff's Office in order to speak with the police. I met and spoke with Sergeant Ernestine, that's me, in an interview room. Sergeant Ernestine provided me with a soda. Sergeant Ernestine confirmed with me that I had come to the Brown County Sheriff's Office willingly and voluntarily. Sergeant Ernestine advised me that I was free to end the interview at any time I wished and demonstrated to me that the door to the interview room was unlocked. Sergeant Ernestine indicated that I could leave at any time I wished. I advised Sergeant Ernestine that I understood and agreed to speak with him. Sergeant Ernestine indicated that he wished to speak with me about an old roommate of mine. Sergeant Ernestine showed me an unlabeled photograph. I recognized the individual in the image as my ex-friend and ex-roommate, George Steve Burch. Everyone else calls him Steve, which I believe is his middle name. He also has a nickname of Big Country. He's a big guy and has a southern accent. I will refer to him.
The officer reviewed his statement. He'd known Steve 20-plus years, noted Steve grew irresponsible, carried debts, used drugs, and became involved in troubling behavior after moving to Green Bay.
As Steve from this point on.
Alright.
Is that correct?
Yep.
I guess I have known Steve for a total of about 22 years. There was a significant period of time that we did not associate with one another. Recently, when we once again began to associate with one another, I had noticed a change in him. I would describe that the change was ultimately for the worse. Years ago, I would have thought that he would have taken responsibility for his actions, but not now, as evidenced by the truck accidents I will discuss later. It seemed like he was more responsible when he was younger and valued work and paid back his debts, which I noticed was no longer the case with him.
That's true.
I met Steve about 22 years ago through friends. While the two of us lived in Newburgh, New York, we would hang out together and fish together. Back then, I believe I met Steve sometime between 95 and 97.
Yeah, that's Newburgh.
Like this?
B-U-R-G-H.
N-E-W-B-U-R-G-H,
H.
like that? Okay. About, right, so, page 1, if that's true and accurate. Let's go ahead and put your initials there for me. It likes the padded part of your finger, not the finger.
All right. Makes everybody's handwriting look like a kindergartner.
About 2007, Steve moved with his wife to Virginia. I did not really associate with his wife much, so I did not really know her that well. I knew that the two of them moved to Virginia so that they could work on their marriage. I knew that they were having marital problems. I did not know the nature of the problems. I knew that Steve's father-in-law did not like him. I do not know why. Steve always complained about his in-laws being in his business. I knew no information that would suggest there was physical violence in their relationship. I did not know of Steve to be in any gangs. I knew Steve to use drugs such as marijuana and crack cocaine. I heard from as I used it with him on occasion. I heard from friends that he used crack more frequently than I did. I have been clean from drugs since about 2008. In 2008, I decided to move to Green Bay, Wisconsin in order to turn my life around. I had lost my job in Virginia, and my brother had lived in Green Bay at the time. I'm a mechanic.
I was in New York.
That's why we go over things.
Yep.
From 2007 to 2016, contact with Steve dropped from monthly to twice a year. In 2016, Steve, divorcing and broke, moved to Green Bay with help from the narrator, who covered his ticket.
And my brother lived in Green Bay at the time. I'm a mechanic by trade. In July of 2015, I purchased my own business by the name of Jackson's Auto Clinic LLC, which I currently own and operate. In 2011, I moved into my current residence, which I ended up purchasing a year later. I currently reside at 912 South Greenwood Avenue with my wife Linda and my father James. I've been dating Linda for about 5 years. We just got married on 8/13/2006. James and Linda had not met Steve until his recent move to Green Bay.
Yep. And Linda, I don't know if it matters, it's L-Y-N-D-A?
Oh my goodness, I got it misspelled everywhere. Remind me and I'll clarify the spelling at the end. Okay.
I just happened to notice it was L-I.
Actually, let me put it at the end here so we don't have to change it everywhere. Correct spelling for my wife is Linda and not Linda as it appears in this document. Correct? Right, so we'll get to that. Back to where we were. Okay, from 2007 up until 2010, I would speak with Steve via telephone about once a month, correct? Yeah. Between 10 and 2016, this communication dropped down to about once every 6 months. Yeah. In early 16, Steve contacted me and said that he was looking for a new life and a new start. Steve said that he was going through a divorce with his wife and was having trouble with his father-in-law. I do not know the nature of the trouble. Steve said that his wife got him arrested. Once again, I do not know the reason for the arrest. Steve said that once he got out of jail, he had no place to go and had no money. I agreed to get him a train ticket to Green Bay, Wisconsin, so that he could stay with me and get back on his feet, with the understanding that he would pay me back for the train ticket once he got a job. He was also supposed to pay me $100 per week for rent. Linda paid for the train ticket, so that would be on her credit card statement to be able to show when Steve actually came into town. He never paid for the train ticket and only gave me like $300 total for rent.
Correct.
I went down to Chicago and picked up Steve at the train station. He took a train from Newport News, Virginia to Chicago, Illinois. He had a telephone number of 845-597-6574. Back then, his wife took him off her plan, so Linda agreed to get him a new phone and put him on her plan, with the understanding that he would pay her back, which he never did. Steve got this new phone about 3 weeks or so before the accident that occurred in June of 2006. He later also failed to return this phone back to us.
Steve lived at their house, left belongings, and got a job at Blackstone East, but quit. He dated Jordan despite her mom's disapproval, and also saw another girl he met at a local bar.
Linda some money, but not the total owed. I believe that Linda either suspended or canceled the line a couple of weeks ago. The telephone number for that phone was 920-770-6574. Both of these contacts appear as Steve in my phone, correct?
Correct.
Once Steve came to Green Bay, he moved in with Linda, my father, and I at 912 South Greenwood Avenue. My father has a bedroom on the first floor. Steve stayed in the bedroom located on the second floor, first door to the left at the top of the stairs. Linda and I shared another bedroom on the second floor. Steve still has some personal property that he has abandoned at our residence, which includes some clothing, such as shirts, pants, and possibly some documents. Correct?
Correct.
Okay, that's page 2. That's true, correct? Just need your initials right on the line, it's fine.
Doesn't help having big fingers.
I know what you mean. A couple of days after getting into Green Bay, Steve got a job at Blackstone East Restaurant. I knew a waitress at Blackstone West by the name of Melissa. That indicated that there was an opening. So I took Steve there. Steve got the job, but only worked there for about a month. He got into a dispute with the boss about working too many hours. I know that while working at Blackstone East, Steve met a waitress by the name of Jordan. He then began to date Jordan. I believe that he may still be dating Jordan. Her number is 920-619-8190. I also know that Jordan's mother was not happy with her dating Steve. I believe that it may have been due to the age difference and maybe because she liked him as well. Correct? I know that Steve was also seeing a little Asian girl that he met at a bar that is located several blocks from my house. The bar is called Richard Cranium, but everyone refers to it as Dickheads. Steve would go to that bar frequently. I would go with him sometimes. Besides these two girls, me and my wife and a couple of guys at Dickheads, I do not know of Steve, so she...
Given a Chevy Blazer, Steve used it for work in bars until June 2016. One morning, the car vanished and was later found wrecked and burned. Steve had fresh injuries but denied involvement.
About a week to a week and a half after leaving the Blackstone, Steve indicated to me that he wanted to get into landscaping. I suggested new in NEW and Abrams, as I knew they were hiring. He got a job there and worked for them for about 3 to 4 weeks until the accident that occurred in June of 2016, correct?
Correct.
Steve did not have a vehicle when he came to live with me in Green Bay. I first allowed him to use my 2000 GMC truck. He used it for about a month. What color was that truck?
Gold.
2000.
I still have the truck.
Gold truck. He used it for about a month. I learned that the frame was cracked on the truck, so I gave him my 2000 truck. He used it for about a month. I learned that the frame was cracked on the truck, so I gave him my 1999 Merritt Chevy Blazer to use. I still have the GMC. The Blazer had stock tinted windows and a roof rack. Linda and I both had keys to the Blazer. Steve had the third set. Steve was to use the Blazer to get to and from work, but I learned that he was also using it to go to the bar. He continued to use the Blazer up until June when the accident occurred, correct? I also know that Steve smokes Maverick Menthol 100. I smoke the same kind except not menthol, correct?
Correct.
In June of, where are we at here? 2, 3. In June of 2016, that I recall that I went outside sometime around 7 a.m. Actually, one second, you want to have something on my head here. In June of 2016, I recall that I went outside sometime around 7:30 a.m. in order to let the dogs out. The Blazer was not in the driveway. I did not think much of it, as I believe that Steve was supposed to have it and should have been at work by that time. I was surprised when I saw Steve come outside as well. I asked Steve where the Blazer was. He said it must have been stolen, as he did not know. I called the police the night before. We were all at home. Steve was sober, and the last I saw him, he went up to his room at about 11 p.m. When the police arrived, they indicated that the car was located a couple of blocks away. It was involved in an accident, had been on fire. I reported to the police that Steve was the primary driver of this vehicle. I was present when the police questioned Steve about the accident. Steve denied having any involvement or knowledge about the accident. Steve had a fresh 6-inch cut on his forehead and another one on his left knee.
Linda found a bloody rag and a gas can near the Jeep after the accident. The Blazer showed mismatched crash and fire damage. He believed Steve torched it to hide evidence, and police took photos.
Steve said that he got hurt at work the previous day as he walked into a tree. Steve said that he did not fill out a workplace injury report, indicating that he frequently gets hurt at work. I told the police that I did not see these injuries on Steve when he came home from work the night before. Steve denied any involvement in the accident. I do not think Steve needed stitches for the gash on his head, but I would not be surprised if it did not leave a scar.
Correct.
I'm sorry, but I would not be surprised if it left a scar.
Yep.
Not be surprised if it left a scar. Correct?
Yep.
Alright. 3.
They're getting better.
Continuing on. Linda took her Jeep to work that morning at about 4 to 4:30 a.m. When she returned home, I informed her of the Blazer. Linda said that she found a bloody rag on the front steps, but it was later gone, and I never got to see it. Linda also questioned why there was an empty gas can in the back seat of her Jeep. This gas can was half full just the day before when I used it and was by the garage, and it was by the garage. I know that Linda called the Green Bay Police Department to report finding the gas can, but they never came out to look at it. I still have the gas can in my house. Steve never admitted to having any involvement with crashing or burning my Blazer. I really believe that Steve crashed the Blazer and then set it on fire to cover it up. I examined the Blazer and the damage was on the passenger side, but the fire damage was on the driver's side. I have photographs on my phone and SD card of the damaged Blazer. Heavy Duty had the Blazer and then it was junked and scrapped. Correct. I provided Sergeant Ernestine with verbal and written consent to search the contents of my cellular telephone. I have had this cell phone for the last couple of weeks. I broke my last phone and had it replaced with Cellcom. I retained the old number and had the information transferred between phones. I advised Sergeant Ernestine that I understood that I did not have to provide consent if I chose not to do so, and that I could revoke it at any time I wished. Correct?
Yep.
I also provided Sergeant Ernestine with written and verbal consent to obtain a sample of my DNA via buccal swab Once again, this was done voluntarily on my behalf. Sergeant Ernestine collected my DNA, correct?
Correct.
Lastly, I provided Sergeant Ernestine with written and verbal consent to search my residence, more specifically the upstairs room that Steve used when he stayed with me. I agreed to accompany Sergeant Ernestine.
The witness let police search his phone, home, and Steve's room, giving them an SD card with photos. After more conflict, he and Linda sent Steve to Chicago, paying his ticket to leave town.
And point out Steve's personal property. I also indicated that I had an SD card that came from my old phone. This card has numerous images on it, to include a fishing trip that Steve and I took to Racine sometime before the accident in June. I advised Sergeant Ernestine that I would turn that SD card over to him so that the contents could be extracted and the card later returned to me. Sergeant Ernestine provided me with his contact information, indicating that I could revoke my consent at any time I wished. Correct? After the accident, Steve stayed with us for a couple more weeks. Linda and I then planned to go on a trip to New York. This was 6/19/2016. We were ready to get rid of Steve because we had enough of him, and we're still upset about the Blazer. We agreed to buy him a ticket back to Virginia. I then drove him to Chicago and dropped him off. I guess I'm not really sure if he actually went to Virginia or not. Naturally, he failed to pay me back for this ticket as well, but I was just happy that he was out of my house.
Correct.
On 6/22/2016, and during our trip, I received a text message from Steve indicating that he was at a bus stop and had no place to go. He made it sound like he was in Virginia, but I suspected that he might be back in Green Bay. This was the last time I communicated with Steve. He tried to call me again after that, but I ignored his call. I think that he got the message that I did not want to associate with him anymore.
Correct.
While Steve lived with me in Green Bay, we would go to the bar on occasion. We would go on job sites together, and we went fishing on a couple of occasions. One fishing trip was to Racine, and the other was to Iron Mountain, correct?
Correct.
Number 4. Aren't you glad you didn't have to type or write?
I don't think my fingers would take it.
I'm really not good with dates. I have pictures on the SD card at home documenting the Racine fishing trip that will show the exact date we went. It was an overnight trip back in late April or early May of 2016. My friend owns a One Big Fish charter, so we went overnight to fish for salmon. So I want to read like that maybe?
S-A-L. S-A-L-N-O-N.
As you can see, I'm not
There you
official.
go.
It was a boat trip on Lake Michigan. It was free. My friend's name is Mike Hankey. He is on my phone as Mike Racine. Mike had his first mate Jimmy go with us. It was the 4 of us. I believe that the trip was from Friday into Saturday or Saturday into Sunday. The SD card will confirm the exact 2 days of the trip. I drove. Steve and I.
During a fishing trip in Racine, Steve confessed to killing a man in his teens but claimed self-defense. Despite theft suspicions, the witness never saw Steve violent until moving to Green Bay.
Left Green Bay around noon or 1 p.m. I believe that I worked that day, and Steve was at home because he was between jobs at the time. I guess I'm not sure what Steve was doing the night before. His routine was to hang out with Jordan. If she was not working, she delivered pizzas for Glass Nickel. He would also stay in his room or go to the bar. I'm sure he was doing one of those activities the night before we left for the fishing trip, correct? Steve did not act out of the ordinary at all during the fishing trip. We fished in the evening when we got to Racine, and once again in the morning before returning back home. The SD card would have images of Steve holding a fish. We stayed at Mike's house, more specifically the trailer that he had set up outside his house, correct? I found some pills missing from my house that include my pain medication and the anti-seizure medication for my dog. I suspect that Steve may have taken the pills, but I have no proof, correct? There was also a time, sometime before the fishing trip to Racine, that Steve and I were talking about life back in Virginia. Steve disclosed to me that when he was in his teens, a guy stabbed him and he killed him, but was cleared of it because it was self-defense, correct?
Correct.
I really never knew Steve to be self-disruptive until the issues when he moved to Green Bay, which I have described above. I never knew Steve to have any issues with violence. I have no information about any homicide. I have no information about Steve being involved in any homicide, and Steve has never disclosed to me any information to believe information that would lead me to believe that he was involved in anything like a homicide. When I learned that Steve was a person of interest in a homicide, that definitely caught me off guard and surprised me. If I had any information about Steve being involved in a homicide, I would have called the police right away. I have not had any involvement in any homicide and have no knowledge about any homicide. I also do not know any females by the name of Nicole. Is that correct?
Correct.
What number are we on? 4. This will be 5.
G-O-U instead of G-A-U.
Where are we at here?
Cord. It should be guard. I'm pretty good at this film.
Good.
There you go.
Still doesn't like it, but it's right.
Oh, puts the red line under it.
Yeah. There we go. Okay, so this is 5. Boom. And the last one, the correct spelling of my wife is Linda and not Linda as it appears in this document.
Great.
6. I have given the statement of my own free will, and no forced threats or promises were made to me to obtain a statement of 6 pages that is true or correct to the best of my knowledge. The statement has been read to me by Sergeant Aaronstein, and I have read it. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. That's the biggest part's done. If that's true and accurate, I just need your signature there. That's fine.
That's okay?
Mhm.
All right.
If you don't mind throwing the date below that, 9/7/2016, and then the time, which is right there. Just put it something or PM. So then what happens is I create a PDF file on this, so nothing can get changed. It stays just the way it is. I go over here, I email it to myself, and then it becomes a document for our case file. I'm sure, because I am much more wordy than most, your wife's been waiting on us. Our last step we gotta do is to go check out the house, get the SD card. We'll meet with the case agent, and I think we're gonna be done. If you don't mind, can you actually just hang out just a couple of minutes? Let me just meet with him, make sure he's got nothing else he needs. Yeah, take a stretch. I apologize so much for keeping you so long. Give me 1 minute, let me check with him, and then we'll probably get going, okay?
All right.
At last, the truth was clear. Steve was charged with first-degree murder and arson. The court sentenced him to 40 years in prison, closing the dark chapter of his violent path.